Well, next up was Diamonds Are Forever, Forever, Forever. Great, fine song. But something funny happened kind of just a few minutes into the movie. You see, I've been watching these movies in kind of one of our classrooms kind of behind this wall here. And I was watching Diamonds Are Forever in the classroom, and I forgot that Jan leads like an afternoon ladies' tea thing with some of the ladies from the church in that room. And so a few minutes into the movie, they all pile in, and they say, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm watching James Bond movie marathon." And they all rolled their eyes at me. And then Betty said, "Oh, I actually like this one." And you have to remember, like, Diamonds Are Forever came out when these ladies were like in college. Like, this is like their generation's movie. And so instead of doing tea, they all sat down and watched Diamonds Are Forever with me, which is kind of awkward because this is the James Bond movie of all the James Bond movies that's the most like scantily clad women in it. And, and so one of my favorite lines in the whole James Bond franchise comes from this movie when Sean Connery looks at the girl and says, he says, "That's a sweet little something you're almost wearing." So that's a great line. So anyway, it was enjoyable. The five of us watched Diamonds Forever. I took notes on some of the things they said while the movie was going on. So instead of ranting and raving, here's some things that they all said. Mary: I dated a man who looked like that in high school. Betty: like Sean Connery or like that Blofeld guy? Mary: which one's the Blofeld guy again? Betty: the one with the gray hair. Mary: yeah, that one. He was premature gray, but he was still cute. Wish it would have lasted. Betty: Roy looked just like Sean Connery when I married him. That's why I married him. He doesn't look like that anymore. Mary: Roy never looked like Sean Connery. He had blonde hair. Ruth: didn't that character already die? Mary: it was a clone. Betty: it wasn't a clone, it was plastic surgery. Jan: could they do that? Ruth: they could do anything nowadays. Jan: but this movie was filmed in the 70s. Mary: they could clone people in the 1970s. Betty: it wasn't a clone. Mary: then what was it? And then various times during the movie, Betty just kind of bit her nails and said, "Oh dear." So I wrote that down. That's pretty funny. Ruth: here we go. This is a good one. That car went to the alleyway propped up on the driver's side, but it came out propped up on the passenger side. Betty: that's what my grandkids call a goof. Yeah, that's what the grandkids are calling. I don't even think my generation called it a goof. I don't know. That's what it is on IMDb. Jan: you think in the 70s they would have been smart enough to spot that before releasing the movie? Mary: none of us were smart in the 1970s. Remember? Jan: I was smart in the 70s. Mary: but you weren't making movies. You were in college. Betty: oh dear. I don't even remember what she said oh dear to right there. She just said oh dear every time something happens. Ruth: I don't understand a single thing that is happening in this movie. Betty: oh dear. Mary: did Blofeld just die? Ruth: I thought he died 3 times already. Betty: why are all these women wearing their nighties? Also Betty, a little bit later: I went to Vegas once, would never go again. Mary: I almost got married in Vegas. Worst mistake I almost made. So there you go. If you don't know anything about Diamonds Are Forever, that probably sums things up adequately. This is one of those James Bond movies where stuff just kind of happens, and you're there for the ride, and there's this thin plot kind of tying things together. If you pay really close attention, you can maybe see it. But yeah, Blofeld dies like 3 or 4 times in this movie, and it was plastic surgery. He wasn't a clone. But I don't know. It's got like a moon rover chase in there, so that's weird. The car does go in on the driver's side, but if you watch, it does flip. He hits some sort of other ramp where it kind of flips. So if you see that was edited in there. It peters out like some of the other Bond movies. The end of it's just kind of whatever. It's kind of weird. I do think Blofeld makes it away in the end. In fact, I know he does. But what a weird psychedelic movie. Perfect for 70s. Women in their 70s want to reliving their glory days. So anyway, they're gone. Now I have the church to myself. So on to the next.